joining this live. It's good to have you guys around. It's another beautiful day right here. So it's been a while. Okay. I think we should be fine. The lesson is that your boy has scattered this morning. So we'll be talking about paint and how to make your house look beautiful and how to solve dampness issue on your wall. I'll do this one later. And how to solve dampness issue on your wall. So if you are new here, this is your first time of joining, welcome. If you're an OG, welcome as well. It's good to always have you.
If you love orange, here are some colors that you can pick with orange that will make your house look beautiful, whether it is outside or inside.
Don't mind this guy, just be talking. Okay. We are blocking Satin. Let me just shift my bucket a bit. Okay, we are out of frame a bit. Thing is to let's check what we have on YouTube. So that everything will be set and ready. We have a lot of things to discuss. Guys. So if you're new here, say I in the chat, say I. So you're going to be learning how to make your house look beautiful, how to solve dampness on your wall and never have that problem again of your paint spilling or of different patterns showing on your wall. Thank you to everybody who is joining on YouTube. I think we can start now. Everything is set. Let's go off YouTube. Yes, still on TikTok. Thank you to everybody who is joining on TikTok. Abraham, Frank, thank you very much. Guys, let's drop chat on the screen so that we can get more people to join this live. So for people who want to learn, let's drop chat on the screen. Okay, let's move on to the first question. Let's move on to the first question we have on the group. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Complaining. That shouldn't be us. Okay. Where's the first question this morning? So for those of you that attended the damp treatment seminar, I hope you guys enjoyed the seminar. So we'll be having an online course on how to treat dampness. I'm currently working on the course. For those that were not able to attend, so I'm currently working on the dampness treatment course, so that if you're in Abuja, if you're in Port Harcourt, and you were not able to attend the seminar, you also see you also see how to treat dampness. And the seminar, the online course also contains everything you need to know. So if you're somebody that wants to learn how to treat dampness, yes, we will be having an online course where you can learn how to treat dampness. If you were unable to attend the dampness training seminar, the physical one, now we'll be having the online version where we also have the recording of the physical version training, as well as some other case studies that will add. So it's going to be packed with a lot of value that will help you learn how to treat dampness the proper way, to solve dampness the proper way. So make sure you click on the link in my bio if you want to join that course right now. So somebody is asking, what if a pipe is leaking from the bathroom? Can this work, or just get a plumber to fix the pipe? So if you are somebody that has pipe that is leaking in your bathroom, and then you want to fix the pipe because it's causing a lot of trouble for your paints and it's causing a lot of mess on your wall, the thing you need to do is to block the pipe. That's the ultimate solution to it. So once you block the pipe, if the wall is too weak, then you can apply Costa 2K and Crystal Coat to make sure the wall is solid again, or you can scrape off that wall and replaster the place, as long as you are sure that it is the water from the pipe that is disturbing. But these chemicals will serve as a two-factor authentication. That is, they will serve as like you are combining two things, so you are very sure that that thing will not be occurring again. So fix the pipe, because if you do not fix the pipe, even though you replaster, even though you apply all this chemical, the thing will still come back. So make sure you fix the pipe first before you do anything. So somebody is asking, can Trowel paint be used on a screeded wall? The answer is yes, but there are some things you need to do, because Trowel paint is a textured paint, and most textured paints do not work properly on screeded wall except you sandpaper the surface of the screeding. Like Trowel, graffites, test coats, they love rough surface. Even though this one is not paint, Tyrolean, so they love rough surface. So if you want to do that on a screeded wall, you need to sandpaper the surface, make it rough, and then you can put your trowel on it, so that will work that way. But on a smooth wall, it might not really stick very well. So So if you're on TikTok, welcome. Sorry, I have Qatar this morning. I was about to say, don't let me come on live, but I said, we must do this because we have a lot of questions people have been asking, and we need to answer them. So, what's the best color to use in your kitchen? What's the best color to use in your kitchen? Let's break it down so that you won't end up regretting your choice later. At number one is white. Yes, white gives your kitchen that fresh and clean look that you need in a place like kitchen where you want it to be hygienious. Like you want the best, like you want the neatest space. So white is a color that you can use to make sure everywhere is clean and fresh. The other color you can also use is yellow. Yellow is a color, yellow, cream, or even off-white is a color that is bright, and it brings that energy into the space, into your kitchen, that will make you, if you're somebody that loves to cook, that will make you want to always cook every time. And it also stimulates the feeling of you wanting to eat. So whenever you cook, most people complain that okay, if they cook they don't want to eat it. When you paint your kitchen with certain colors like yellow and other bright colors, it will stimulate you, it will make you want to eat that food. The other color you can also use is green in any shade, whether it's lemon green or it's deep green, it's light green. It also brings that freshness, that natural feel to your kitchen space. So these are some colors you can use to paint your kitchen. So let me know which of these color is your favorite in the comments. So let's move on to the next question. So if you're on TikTok, welcome. Make sure you are double tapping on the screen. Why is your wardrobe always damp? Let's uncover the hidden reasons why your wardrobe is always damp. There are several reasons, like 3 reasons why your wardrobe can be damp. At number one is the wall behind that wardrobe has issue, whether it's rising damp from the floor. Probably the old house is always damp, but because the wardrobe area is damp, as well as you are putting the wardrobe against the wall, so you are most likely to be seeing dampness. And I'm going to tell you what to do. Another reason you might be seeing that is you have low ventilation in that place. There is no ventilation, like the everywhere is closed and everything. And since the wardrobe is also close to the wall, there's no way air will circulate easily, so which means every vapor that's evaporating will end up falling again, and then your wardrobe will be damp. Another reason is you have water that's coming, maybe water is splashing from outside and then it's finding its way to enter the wall behind your wardrobe, so that will also cause it. So the solution to most of this is, if it is rising damp, you need to treat that dampness, that is dampness that's coming from the foundation and then is entering the wall behind your wardrobe. So you need to fix it with Costa 2K and Crystal Coat and Damp Master. Once you fix it, you won't have that issue again. The other thing you also need to do is to make sure you open the wardrobe once in a while, so that air will be able to circulate in. Another thing you can also do is to make sure the wardrobe is not too close to the wall, so that there will be space for air to move in and out. So another solution is always try to open your windows. Most people just close their window without letting air to come in or something, and there are some windows that are too small for the space. Like you have a window, a single window for a very big space, so you need to make sure you add additional window to that space, so that air will be able to circulate. Another solution is you find silica gel or all this damp absorber that can absorb damp. You just hang it. There are some, I'm not too sure, I've not been seeing them in Nigeria, but you can check all these online websites. So you can hang them in your wardrobe, and then they will absorb water over time. They are also effective. So these are some ways to solve the problem of dampness in your wardrobe. So if you have question on TikTok, please leave it in the chat. I'll be there to respond to you. I'm trying to respond to as many questions as possible because we have a lot of questions already. Let me check. It seems yes, it's raining outside. Let me check. Okay, thank you to Tope Banks. Thank you very much for double tapping on the screen. Okay, I think everything is fine. Thank you to Toys Banks. Thank you very much for double tapping on the screen. I really appreciate you. So it's raining outside, and we have our power source outside, so they will not go and spoil our power source. That we can continue enjoying this particular live session. Let me check the comments people are leaving on TikTok. So if you're on YouTube, also double tap on your screen. Thank you to Ajani. Thank you very much for the gift. I really appreciate you, Mr. Ajani. Wow, thank you very much. I really appreciate you. Mr. D, thank you very much. Mr. G says, good job. So Mr. Dewale says, your phone number. Thank you very much to Mr. Ajani. I really appreciate you. Mr. Dewale says, your phone number, please. 09043575896. That's the number on the screen. Just look at the screen on TikTok. You see, ask me about paints. That 90, just add 0 at the front. 09043575896. Thank you very much for that question. Do I use outside pigment to work like paste pigments? Okay. Is that your phone number, and which state are you? So we are in Lagos. Okay, I think that's the end. Up rose. Thank you very much, Mr. Ajani. Thank you to Mr. Williams for double tapping on the screen. Guys, let's double tap on the screen. Let's get more people to join this live. So let me go to the next question. I think somebody is asking a question here. Somebody is asking, can I prime a room without screeding it and apply my paints? That is, prime a room without screeding. So let's break this down. You see, priming is meant to make sure your wall, like your finish, you have a good finish. What do I mean by a good finish? You see some houses that they paint and then one place is looking darker than the other, even though they use the same color. So it's because they did not use primer. They did not do the proper surface preparation. So priming is meant to help you solve that particular issue. Priming will also make your paint stick better to the wall. So the person that's asking this question means, can you use primer on a fresh wall even without screeding? And the answer is yes. So you can use primer on a fresh wall without screeding. But if you want a perfect finish, that is something that is close to 100%, because nothing is 100%, something that's close to 100%, you need to do screeding, especially for walls that are not smooth. So the work of screeding is to make the wall look smooth, while the work of priming is to make sure the finish is beautiful. I don't know if you can get it. The finish is beautiful. Screeding is a putty. It will make it look flat. Priming will make it look beautiful, so that your blue will be blue, your red will be red, your black will be black, your white will be white. Not that some places will be looking darker than the other. So that is the work of priming. So yes, you can do priming on a wall that is not screeded. Okay. So somebody is asking, what's the difference between mold and dampness? Mold and dampness, mold is as a result of dampness. Like, dampness is a general term used for a situation where you have water on your wall, while mold is something that happens as a result of you having water on your wall. Though it is not all damp wall that has mold. Mold are like living organisms that grow on your wall. When you have water on that wall and then there's heat, there's not enough ventilation in that space, mold will grow there, and it is very dangerous for your earth. So it can be black, it can be even white in some cases, it can be brown, it can be yellow. So it comes in different colors. So once you have your wall that is damp and you start seeing some patches, and usually they are in cycles, like they will have dots. They can be big or small, and it can be anywhere. It can be on your pop, it can be on your wall. That is mold. But dampness is just the water that is in your block, and it has some causes. It has some effect on your block. Like, it's one of the effects is mold, another effect is you see your paint spilling. That is dampness. So those are the two differences between mold. Those are the differences between mold and dampness. So that's a good question. So let's check the chat again, guys. If you have any question, leave it in the chat. So somebody is saying, is it possible to organize program for us on mainland too? No, sorry, we won't do that right now. We love the dampness solution program in mainland. No. So but what we are thinking of is to organize. I'm currently working on an online course where people on the mainland island, people in Abuja, Port Harcourt will be able to join the live class, and then they will be able to know how to fix the dampness. So in the course, it's a complete course that will be pre-recorded so that you can join at your own convenience time, so that anytime you have time to watch it, you can watch it anytime. Not that you missed today's class, you did not miss tomorrow's class. It's recorded, and we also have the recording of the events we did, the seminar we did, so it will be part of the course. We also have some case studies to show you, okay, this is what you do, this is how to mix everything properly, this is how to diagnose. Because diagnosing, you know one thing that usually cause one thing that you have fixed damp, but it's you have fixed damp on your wall, but the thing is still happening. But what could be the cause? One thing that usually cause it is that you did a wrong diagnosis. Diagnosis is very, very important when you talk about dampness. For example, there are three different type of damp. There's a rising damp, condensation damp, there's penetrating damp. You see, if you diagnose one damp as rising damp and it's not rising damp, and you use the rising damp solution, and you later realize that it's condensation damp, that means that solution will not be effective. It will not be as effective as you diagnosing the right way, which is very, very important. That's why most people will be like, I've used a lot of chemicals and it's not working. It's not the chemical in some cases, it is the way you diagnose it. And you need to learn how to diagnose properly. So once you diagnose properly, you'll be able to apply the right apply the right solution. It's not every situation that requires chemical. There are some places that is just pipe that is broken. Once you fix the pipe, you only need to do very few things, spend a little bit of money to fix that. So if you want to learn how to do this, I have that in my online course. You can check the link in my bio. So for those online right now, the course is not yet ready. I just did that just in case we'll be posting this video later. So the course is not yet ready, but the place you also find the course later is in my online my bio as well. So but I'm still working on it. Some part of it is ready, while other parts are still in the work, and I don't want to release half-baked course for people. I want to meet you, sir. I'm in Lagos now. I come from Kwara State. Ola Paint. Mr. Ola, currently I'm a bit occupied. I'm a bit occupied. Like, once I leave this place now, we are still going out to work on a damp wall. So seeing me might be kind of. But if you want to reach out to me, you can message me on WhatsApp 090435755896. That's the number on the screen. Call us to paint a house with a green roof, the pillars and wood window wood. Come here, give me some minutes. Give me a few seconds. Let me check this out. So if you have any question, guys, leave it in the chat. If you have any question, leave it in the chat. Thank you to Mr. Hakim for that wonderful gift. I really appreciate you. If your house has a green roof, what color should you paint the pillars, the wall, and the window wood to make it look stunning? Let's break this down. Sorry, I'm trying to. There are some things I'm trying to do, guys. So for those of you that are making content, I think I have the hook. I will really need the online session, please. Okay, Mr. Shola, you get the online session. So, but it's not going to be free. So it's not going to be free because a lot of work is going to go into it. Thank you, guys. Let's double tap on the screen. Let's double tap on the screen. Let's double tap on the screen. Let's double tap on the screen, guys. What was I even talking about? If your house has a green roof, what color should you paint it to make it look stunning? Let's explore the best option. At number one is white and gray. White and gray is a modern classic color that people are using nowadays. And the way to use it comes in two ways. You can use the white to paint the whole wall, and then you use gray for the pillars as well as the window woods. This will also come out stunning. The other option, you can also do this in the reverse way. You can use gray to paint the whole house and white to paint the window wood as well as the pillars. That will also look very, very beautiful. And you can use different variation of gray. You can use light gray, dark gray, and the medium one, not dark. The other option you can also use is white and green. Yes, because your roof is green, you can paint it with the same type of green. That is, you paint the main house with white, and then the window wood and pillars with the same green that is on your roof. Or you can paint this, you can paint a different variation of green. Let's say you have a darker shade of green at the top part of your house. You can paint the pillars with lemon green, or the lighter shade of green, the light shade of green, or you use it to paint it. That will also create a powerful contrast that will make the house look stunning. Another option you can also use to paint your house with a green roof is cream and red, or cream and terracotta. So cream, beige, off-white are colors that go very, very well with terracotta, orange, and even terracotta, orange, and brown. So all this color will go very well. So what you do is paint the main house with cream, with off-white, or with beige, whichever one you like most. And then the pillars and the window wood, you paint it with brown or orange or terracotta. Your house will look stunning. People will want to visit your house. So let me know which of these option is your favorite and which one you think is the most beautiful in the comments. Okay. Thank you to Aljago. I really appreciate you. Please, what color can I use to match off white paint in a living room? You see, the essence of the simple trick of painting a house is that when you use a light color for the main color, just find something that's a bit deeper than that, or a bit deeper. So for a place with off white, so somebody is asking, let's turn this to content. Somebody is asking, please, what color can I use to match off-white paints in a living room? So here are three colors you can use to match off-white in a living room. At number one is terracotta. Terracotta is that color that looks like orange, but it is not orange. It's a muted orange. So it is not bright as orange, and it looks very good, especially if you don't want something that's too shouty. It will go very, very well with your off-white. At number two is navy blue. Yes, navy blue will also pair very well with off-white. Why? Because off-white is like a warm color. It's a warm color, and when you pair it with navy blue, which is a cool color, it brings a kind of balance to your space that makes the place look very beautiful. Another option you can also use is off-white and orange. Yes, if you are somebody that likes a very vibrant space, yes, off-white and orange will work perfectly for you. And what you can do to make sure the place does not look the orange does not look too much, is to find a media wall, like a wall that you separate, that you only paint with that orange, and then you paint the rest of the space with off-white. The place will come out stunning and it will look very, very beautiful. Just make sure you invite me once you paint the place. So let me know which of this color is your favorite in the comments. Okay, guys, I think that answers the question. Marquee white. So somebody is asking, I paint my room yellow, I want to change it to white. Can I use normal white first before satin white? Yes, the answer is yes. So especially if you are changing color. So but the other best option you can use is to use a primer. So a primer will help you. So what you want to do, what the person wants to do, is to have a base layer, a base coat, before they now have their satin on it. So that is the work of a primer. Yes, most people use emulsion paint in some cases to do this, but the best option is to use a primer. Because why? Primer will make that satin paint stick to the wall very well. And primer is usually useful when you are painting a fresh wall, or when you want to change paints, or when you want to change the color from one color to another. So primer will make your paint, it will save you paint. It will make sure that the paint you end up using at the end of the day is not as much as what you are supposed to be using. And it will also make sure the paint you want to later put on the wall will stick to the wall properly. Because there are some places that you want to paint, and the existing paint, the old paint on the wall is peeling, is not too solid. So primer will serve as, it will cover that. Even though there are other chemicals that are better than primer, once you have that kind of situation, maybe you have a dusty wall, you can use a stabilizing solution for that. But primer in general will work for a wall that you want to repaint with another paint color or paint type. So primer is 25,000 naira. Primer is 25,000. Guys, let's tap on the screen. Let's get more people to join this live. Can I pair it with coffee brown? Yes, you can pair the off-white with coffee brown. It looks very beautiful. Like I told you, the psychology of painting, like the old truth behind painting, is that once you have a light color, just pair it with a deeper color. So coffee brown is also a deeper color. So but don't use it too much, so that the place will not look too dark. But if you are somebody that also like a dark space, you can also pair it here and there, and also add it to some elements of your maybe furniture or your throw pillows, just to also bring that element down and make it flow. So that's a wonderful one. So primer is 25,000. Primer is 25,000. So she says primer. So one primer will be enough for just one room. So it depends on how big the room is, but you can get one first. So if it is not enough, you buy more. So does paint last more on a screeded wall as compared to a plastered wall? Granted, both are primed. This is a wonderful question. Let me copy. Can I copy question? Copy it. Okay, let me copy to send. Okay, sorry. Let me see. I want to save this question. Select or copy, because normally we have a question, something like a question bank. I'm getting some wonderful questions on this chat this morning. Sorry. I'm doing a lot of things at the same time, so I want to convert this to a content so that other people will have this kind of question. But I'm looking for the right hook to use. Does paint last longer on a screened wall compared to a plastered wall? Does paint last longer on a screeded on a screeded wall compared to a plastered wall? Let's break this down. You see, paint longevity or durability does not depend on the type of wall, it depends on the surface preparation and the material you use. Even both a screeded wall and a plastered wall, the same paints can last the same time. Let's say this one use 5 years, this one can also use 5 years. But if the surface preparation and the type of paints are different, that is when the longevity will be different. So this, like, for a screeded wall, a plastered wall, they can use the same year. It doesn't there's no variation in that. But once the priming, yes, even though you prime the wall, the two walls, if the wall preparation on like one is different, is more than the other, even though it's screeded wall, let's say for example your plastered wall that you did not screed, you have more wall preparation, you sandpaper it very well, you apply primer, you do all the necessary thing. But on your screeded wall, you did not do all those things. Your plastered wall paint will still last longer than your screeded wall. The only thing the screeded wall will do is that it will make your paint, it will make you consume less paint, but it does not really affect the longevity. The opposite is also true. If you do the wall preparation, surface preparation, use the right paint on the screeded wall, but you did not do it on just the plastered wall, the what's it called, the screeded wall will last longer than the plastered wall. So it's not dependent on whether the place is plastered or screeded. So it is dependent on the surface preparation and the type of paint you later end up using. I think that forms a good content, because I noticed that most of our content are having a bit of low views, so we are trying to add hook at the beginning, so that we can get more people. Okay, somebody is asking. I think that answers the question. Thank you to 101. I really appreciate you. So somebody is saying, how much is paint big bucket? So this one, if it is satin, is 72,000. If it is matte, is 68,000. If it is Weathermax, is 70,000. Emulsion is 19,000. So those are the prices for paint. Let me quickly move on to the next question. Olabamiji. Yes, any color, they are the same price. I think primer is new brand, different from satin. So primer is not new. Primer has been in existence, but our own primer, we just came out with it. That's why most people are not aware of it. But primer has been in existence for a very long time. People have been using primer. So primer is not a paint. Somebody is asking, is primer a paint? Primer is not a paint. Primer is a surface preparation material that will make your finish look beautiful. And it is also different from screeding, because screeding will make your wall look smooth, but primer will make your paint come out more beautiful, and it will make the paint last longer, and it will make the paint look more beautiful, and it will make the paint stick properly to the wall. So those are the work of primer. So when you see a paint that they paint one place the same color, let's say is white, and you see some places are looking brownish or dark, even though they use the same white all through, it's because they did not use primer. Primer will have made the place look uniform. If they had applied a primer, or everywhere will look uniform and white will be white. So that is the work of a primer. So primer is not a paint. So I think what's up with dark ash? It's always bringing out lines after it's dried. So somebody is asking, what is wrong with dark gray paints that it's always bringing out line after it's dry? You see, I won't lie to you, most paints company usually have this issue, whether it's paints you get from Mars or Venus or Jupiter. Dark gray and other dark colors usually have this issue. I think it's because of the pigments and the chemical they use, because those dark colors they are very tricky, honestly. We also supplied a project recently, and then the like even 2 projects, the people were complaining that there's a line on the dark something and the thing is not looking beautiful. So we had to change it, because you can produce this batch now is okay, you can produce another batch is not okay. They react differently, and there are sometimes that what usually causes it sometimes is that when you put these dark colors on hot walls, like on a very sunny day, paint is chemical, they react. When you now put chemical on a hot wall, it's just like you are boiling egg. The egg will be boiling. So that is how paint is. So there are sometimes it's not about the paint, it's about the wall you want to put it on. You can put it will be funny to you that the same paint that you say is not good here, you can go inside or on another place, and you put it and it will be good. So sometimes it's about the surface. Sometimes, yes, even though dark colors like dark gray, even orange, sometimes like all these dark colors, they usually have issue. And like, don't let me say they usually have issue, they are prone to having issues like lines on the wall and every other thing. But if you see that, if you buy a paint from, whether it's from us, from other manufacturers, you can just don't use it. Once you see that reaction, don't use it, close it back, return it to the manufacturer. In most cases, we usually swap it. We'll swap it and we'll give you another one, another batch. So then we investigate that particular batch, whether it's the one that has the problem. So that's what you need to do. That's a wonderful question. So let's up tap on the screen. So our location is Eputu bus stop, Aja. That's opposite. That's after Awoyaya. That's Lekki Ekpe Expressway. After Aja. So Lagos, 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 Lagos. So thank you to that for that question. Yes, it's not paint. Only one Vicky. It's not paint. I think I've answered that question. So our gloss is 19,000. This is gloss. This is primer. So there are two different things. Gloss is 19,000 for any color apart from gold and silver. Gold and silver is 25,000. Should I paint my parlor? So somebody is saying, Mrs. Is this Cynthia? Sorry, okay, Lorita. Mrs. Lorita is saying, which paint should I paint my parlor? Uh, Somebody is asking, which paint should I paint my parlor? Let's break it down. You see, parlor or your living room is a space that is meant to welcome your guests, and the color or the type of paint you use is very, very important. So you need to be careful when you are selecting the type of paint you use, because this space is a busy area. I will always recommend you use satin. Why? Satin or any other cleanable paint, but satin in our context here. Why? Because satin, that place is a place that a lot of traffic will be getting to. People will be coming to visit you. They will place their hand on the wall. They do this, they do that. With satin, you can easily clean it, and then the place will become new again. So even though you don't have the money to buy satin for all the old house, I'd always recommend that, okay, paint that place with satin if you did not mind the shining nature of satin. Because some people will be like, I don't like satin because it's shining. They'd rather use matte paint instead. Yes, but satin is one of the best because you can easily clean it anytime it's dirty. So the color you also use should be a welcoming color. Yes, you can add your own touch of personality to it. You can pick, if you're somebody that like bright color, yes, it's your space, it's still your house. Even though visitors are coming to meet you, yes, you can use your bright color, but balance it up with some maybe darker color a little bit. Or if you're somebody that likes dark color, you can use your dark color, but also balance it up with a little bit so that the place will not be looking too dark and be scaring your visitor. So it's always finding the balance to find the best paint to paint your living room or your parlor. That's a wonderful one. No, toxic. Why? No, I'm not into the chemical parts. I think you were the one that asked the first question. Sorry, I did not answer that question. I'm not into that. How much for satin? Satin is 72,000, 72,000 naira, 72,000 naira. Satin is 72,000 naira. So somebody is asking, which paint color should I paint my parlor? Parlor is also your living room. So there are a lot of colors you can use, but let me mention like three. Number one is white. Yes, if you are somebody that needs simplicity, you need something clean and fresh, and you also want your space to look as if it's big. Yes, use white, especially if you use the satin. It's easily cleanable. So it will also make your house look beautiful. Then you can also pair it with colors like navy blue, olive green. So you can use those ones as accent or even orange. At number two is off white. Off white is also a color that's similar to white. Why? Because it's a bright color. And any color you want to combine with it, like chocolate brown, you can combine it with even green in some cases. You can also combine it with red. Yes, so off white will also go with that. Another color you can also use for your living room is blue. Yes, the lighter shade of blue. You can combine the light shade of blue with a navy blue or a deeper shade of blue. So it will also be very, very beautiful in your living room. So let me know which of these color is your favorite in the comments, and which one you think is the most beautiful. I think that settles that. Do I need to still screed a wall even if the wall was finally plastered with cement and so somebody is asking, do I need to still screed a wall even if the wall was finely plastered with cement and aggregate? The answer is no. If your wall is plastered very well and it is very smooth, you don't need to do screeding, and that will give you, let's say, 80 to 90% of beauty. But if you use screeding, it will add, let's say, extra 5%. It depends on how smooth the wall is, because the work of screeding is to make your wall look smooth, and if you already have a smooth wall, so why do you want to do screeding again? So you can just do proper surface preparation on that wall, and then you will have a very good finish. But the truth is that there's no 100% smooth wall. Even with screeding, there's no 100% smooth screeding. So it now depends on, okay, because there are some parts that you might see that, okay, this part is very smooth but the other part was not properly done. So that way you can screed the place that was not properly done, and then you leave the place that was properly done, and you also use paints like Weathermax paint. Weathermax paint will also make the place come out very well, even though there's no screening. It will make it look beautiful, though it will not cover the cracks, it will not smoothen the wall, but it will make it come out more than if you use ordinary paints. Okay. Okay, thank you for that question, guys. Let's double tap on the screen. What is the disadvantage? Disadvantage. So somebody is asking, what's the disadvantage of using stucco? Yes, stucco has a lot of advantage. Let's talk about the advantage before the disadvantage. You see, stucco is a paint that's very beautiful, easy to clean. That is, if you need something that you can easily clean anytime it's dirty, stucco is one of the best paints you can use, and it's good. It has different decoration that will make your place look beautiful. Now to the disadvantage. This disadvantage is that because it requires some special machine to do, like the smoothing machine, that most people don't have the money to buy it, or they can't afford it. Most people that do the work can't afford it, so they use the manual method, which is not as smooth as the what's it called, machine method. So the other thing is that most people that say they know how to do stucco, they don't really know how to do it properly. Most of them are just learning. So compared to Satin paint that most people already know how to use, because stucco is a recent design, especially in the Nigerian space. People are just getting to know it. So it might be difficult to find somebody that knows how to use it properly. So, but if you get somebody that can apply it properly, stucco is one of the best. So those are the challenges you might be having. Then in terms of maintenance as well, you might not be able to get someone that can easily help you maintain it. Let's say you want to change it to another paint. Now you need to do a lot of surface preparation before you can change it to another paint, because it looks like glass. If you want to paint other paints on it, it won't be easy to just paint other paints on it. Just like compared to when you paint your place with emulsion or matte, that you can just even put roller and start painting other paints on it. But for stucco, you won't be able to do it like that, because the paint will not stick to the wall, it will be falling off. So you need to do a lot of surface preparation before you can paint another paint on it. So thank you to everybody who is joining. I really appreciate you. Off-white and coffee brown is best. Yes, it's the best. It's one of the best you can use. It's beautiful. Big remedy. How do I combine these two color, off-white on the wall or coffee brown? So for the off-white and coffee brown, just make sure the whole wall is off-white, and then you choose a wall and you paint that particular, let's say where you put your TV, then you paint that place with coffee brown. So that's one of the best way you can use it. Guys. Let's up on the screen. Let's get more people to join this live. So if you want to know the best color to paint your house, you want to know the right paints to paint your house, this is the right place to be. If you also want to know how to treat dampness in your space, this is the right place to be. So drop your question in the chat. Let me quickly check other questions that people are asking. If you're on YouTube, thank you very much for sticking around. Please let me check YouTube so that we won't just be talking, and this thing is not recording. Ashanu Adi on YouTube is asking, where is the location? Is in Lagos after Eputu bus stop after Awoyaya. Eputu bus stop after Awoyaya. So you can message me, check the link in my bio. You see my phone number there to reach out to me. Let's move on to other questions on WhatsApp. Other questions on WhatsApp. Okay, I think we've answered this one. Colors to paint a house with green roof. Bro, is it advisable to prime wall after screeding? Let's turn this to content. Even though we've done similar content, when you are doing content, when you are creating videos, you say the same thing but using different language, because if you are doing content, what can I use for the intro of this video? Okay. Screeding alone is not enough. Primer is the key to durability. You see, if you screed your wall, does not mean your paint will last long on that wall. But if you prime your wall, primer will help the wall last longer. Like the paint you want to put on it last longer. It will make the paint stick properly to the wall, and it will let you have even finish. Because screeding is meant to only make your wall look smooth, but primer will make the finish come out very well. It will make your white to be white. It's not that some places will be white, other places will be brownish, other places will be darker. No, primer will create an even surface for your paint that is coming on it, and it will serve like as a something like a gum, a sticky it will serve as a gum that will make sure the paint you are putting on it stick properly, and you won't have the issue of paint spilling and everything. It will also prevent the wastage of paint. That is, where you are supposed to use 2 buckets, with primer you can be using 1.5 buckets. It will save you a lot of paint at the end of the day. Why? Because your paint, if you are painting on a fresh wall without a primer, the wall will soak the paint, and that means you'll be using more paint. But if you are painting on a wall with primer, it's already block all those pores, and then your paint will just be coating the surface. It should be painting the surface instead of sticking into your block. So that is the essence of a primer. So guys, let's drop more questions. Let me check questions on okay, let me put this okay. Oh god. Okay, this is YouTube. This is thank you very much. Yes, we deliver paints nationwide. Paint business is just slow these days, bro. Yes, it's everywhere. It's not just paint business, it's material business in general. The business is slow, but you have to just hang on and like hang on to dear life, so that when the market is booming again, because we will soon enter December period whereby you will not be able to sleep. Like, you will be delivering every second. So hang on, we are almost there. So our primer is in 4 liters. It only comes in this 4 liter. We don't have the big one. It's just 4 liters we have. What's the best way to treat damp on bathroom or toilet area? What's the best way to treat dampness on bathroom or toilet area? Let us break this down so that you do the right things. So if you have dampness, what do we mean by damp? Dampness is a situation where your block is soaked with water, and then the paint you paint on probably the outside part of the toilet is peeling off. You are seeing mold on the wall, you are seeing algae on the wall, so that is dampness from the toilet or bedroom. In some cases, it's not every case that is like that. So but if you've seen that it's only the toilet area, maybe the outside of the toilet area that is wet, is probably the water is coming from the toilet itself. So and what you need to do is to remove the tiles. If you have tiles in the toilet, it means that particular toilet is not well insulated, like it is not well waterproofed. So what you are going to do is to remove the tiles. Once you remove the tiles, apply chemicals like apply Costa 2K. Once you apply Costa 2K on the floor, you use it to do as if you want to plaster the floor. So you plaster the floor with it, you spray, you put the Costa 2K there. Once you put the Costa 2K, then you can install your tiles back. So but what you need to do is it's not just the floor. You put the Costa 2K on the floor and then the walls to certain heights. So once you do that, you now put your tiles back, and then you can also treat the outside part of the room, that is the part outside of the toilet that is also soaked. You remove the plaster in those places, you put your Costa 2K and you replaster, and then you won't have that issue again. But while you are doing this, also check for leaking pipe, because the problem might be from a leaking pipe. So fix all those issues, and then you won't have water from your bathroom or toilet again. So if you need any of these chemicals, send us a DM. Message me on WhatsApp 090435758960 090435758960. Give me 1 second, please. Guys, give me 1 second. I need to attend to someone. So drop your question, guys. Drop your question. I'll be right back. 1 minute. So guys, I'm back. Somebody is asking. So somebody is asking. Thank you very much for your amazing answer. I'm really blessed by your life. Thank you very much. You're welcome. You're welcome. So for the correction of the dampness, you use Costa 2K. You use Costa 2K to correct it. Sorry, give me a few seconds. Okay, let's turn that to content. Plastering is not about guesswork. Get the right ratio of plaster and cement unless you have problem with your paint at the end of the day. So but what is the right means to plaster to what's the right ratio of cement and sand for you to use so that you won't have issue of cracks and then your paint not coming out at the end of the day. So the right means is 1:4 or maximum 1:5. That is, you have 1 part cement, 4 parts sand. That is, if you are using one bag of cement, then you use 4 or 5. That's 4 to 5 bags of sand. So with this, you have a proper mix. So don't go above it and don't go below it, because if you try to manage cement, at the end of the day, you have a wall that is not properly, that the cement in it is not enough, and then the plaster will start falling off. Or if you mix too much cement with it, that's when you start seeing cracks on your wall, and at the end of the day, when you paint on it, the cement usually react with paint, so and it will affect the finish of that paint. You see, that's when you see you paint some place, it will be darker, you paint some place, it will be lighter, especially when you did not end up using a primer. So make sure your plastering comes out very well, because your finishing starts from plastering. Your finishing starts from you plastering your wall. So 1:4, 1:5, depending. But if it is in an interior wall, you can still use 1:6, but always stick to 1:4 or 1:5, whether it's interior or exterior, so that you can get the best finish. I think we turned that to content already. So thank you to everybody who is joining. It's Daniel, where do you live? Okay. What are we using for the collection of damp? Okay, thank you very much for your amazing. Okay. Eh? All that. Should I? Okay. There was some James. We drag it inside. Thank God I even say it. They will just sign me out. Just have me be monitoring the truth. Don't rush. Your plaster is not ready for painting after a few days. You see, most people, one mistake most people do is that they plaster today, they want to paint tomorrow. that is very wrong, because if you do it that way, you see that your paint will be peeling on the wall and you won't know where the issue is from. So the right way to do it is, after your plastering, you wait 3 to 4 weeks for the plaster to dry properly. So once the plaster dry, and the way for you to know if the plaster is dried is to use, you can use a moisture meter, or you use the conventional method, that is, you find a nylon or a poly bag, you stick it to the wall, you use paper tape or sellotape to stick the nylon to the wall, you come back after 24 hours, you check beneath the nylon. If there is water beneath the nylon, that means the wall is yet to be dry, and you should not paint. I repeat, you should not paint, because if you paint in that condition, you see that the paint you put, whether it is satin mat or any paint, import the paint from Jupiter, you will still have the same problem of your paint peeling. Why? Because you are painting on a wet wall. Paint is a chemical that only loves dry wall. So let's move on to the next question. So So somebody is asking, what do I need to apply on a wall that soak water before painting? So if you have a wall that is soaked with water, what you need to do is to find the source of the water first. You diagnose the source of the water, because there are different causes for different dampness. We call that dampness, wall dampness. So the water might be coming from the foundation, it might be coming from condensation, or it might be coming from penetration. Probably a pipe is leaking, or somebody somewhere, or your bathroom is leaking, or somebody's bathroom is leaking and is coming to your place. So once you know the cause, fix the source first before you say you want to paint on that wall or do anything on the wall. So if it is rising damp, you can use chemicals like Costa 2K, Crystal Coat and Damp Master to stop the dampness, and then once the wall is dry, you can repaint your wall. Or if it is penetrating damp, that is, it's coming from a leaking pipe or a broken tiles, you need to fix that first. If the wall is still solid, you can apply a primer to cover the stain on that wall after it's dry. Remember, after it is dry, because if you use primer or even paint on a wet wall, you're going to have issue. So make sure it's dry before you apply paint. So that is the solution. So primer is 25,000. All this Costa 2K is 60,000. Crystal Coast is 70,000. So those are the prices. Mr. Olagoke, I don't understand. Did you see the video of the property? I'm not sure. If you send it on WhatsApp, I've not been on WhatsApp this morning like that. So, but I will respond. If you send it, I will definitely respond to you. Can hand-free cutting in with a good brush ever be as straight as using a masking tape? So somebody is asking, that can hand-free cutting in with a good brush ever be as straight as using a masking tape? That is, this person is referring to painting. That is, if you want to paint a place that is on the edge, you want the place to be smooth and straight, can you use your hand or should you use tape? It depends on who is painting. There are some people that they are professionals, because based on their years of experience, or based on the fact that they've learned how to do it, they know how to cut a straight line even with ordinary brush. But there are some people that are just starting. So if you are a beginner, always try to put tape. Don't go and spoil your work. So but you can, sometimes you can practice with a wall that you know, okay, I can repaint this place. Practice. So but the trick to cutting with hand is that you will not get close to the place you want to paint. Like for example, if you want to paint this edge now, you want to paint this edge, and this is the edge. Instead of you putting your brush here direct, you won't push the brush, you will put the brush close to this place, you will press it so that the tip of the brush will be the one that will get to this place, and then you paint. So that's how most people do it. But if you are not expert yet, always try to tape, and then you have a perfect finish. It's just like Oyibo has done the best for you. Just do the tape is straight already. Just do the tape, and then you paint direct. So that's how to get a smooth line. uh This video. Uh, so, what's the best paint to use for indoor? Mr. Satin Daniel, please stop posting that unless I'll block you on this live. Please stop posting that. If you are a painter, try to post your content, try to let people know, not that you come to this live, you start posting that. I've seen that, but I try to ignore it. Please, that's the last warning. What's the best paints to use for indoor? So somebody is asking, what's the best paints to use for indoor? That is for your interior, your living room, your bedroom, your bathroom. What's the best paint to use? So for the best paints to use, you can use, there are various options. There's no paints you can use for outside that you cannot use for inside, except is a textured paint. Even textured paints, there are some places you can use them. But for the best, go for satin. Satin paint is one of the best paints you can use to paint your interior. Why? It is easy to maintain, it lasts longer. Anytime it's dirty, you can easily clean it, and it also comes in different color. Any color you need, white, black, brown, blue, yellow, orange, it comes in different color. And most people already know how to easily paint satin compared to other paints. So that is why satin paint is one of the best paints you can use for the interior. Another paint you can use if you are somebody that does not like shining, the shininess of satin, is to use matte paints. So if you want something that is not as shiny as satin but you still want that quality, you can use matte paint for the interior of your house. But if you are somebody that's on a low budget, you can't afford satin, you can't afford matte, go for ordinary emulsion. This is also very good depending on the color you choose. The only thing is that it might not last as long as satin and matte, so but it will still do the job for you. Let's go on to the, let's move on to the next question. So somebody is asking, I want to know the right treatment for dampness caused by waterlogged environment. So if you're in a waterlogged environment, the most probable cause of dampness on your wall is rising damp. That is, water from the floor, because that place is waterlogged, water from the ground is entering your block. So areas like the that are close to rivers have this issue. So water from the ground is entering your block and then is making the wall wet, and anytime you paint on the block you have water issue. There's a solution to that, but the first solution is that you, anytime you are building a house in this area, always use a DPC. DPC is that plastic sheet that they normally put on the block, so while they are doing the foundation. So but if you did not do that, there's still solution to that. The only thing is that those solutions might be expensive than you doing it from the foundation. And the solution is, you can use chemicals like Dampmaster, Crystal Coat, and Costa 2K. The work of Dampmaster is that you will inject it into the foundation, so that at the end of the day it will form that nylon, that plastic that you were supposed to build. It will form a thin layer that will prevent water from rising. And the other thing you also need to do is that, because your block is wet, you need to now protect the block as well. So you need to remove the plaster on that block, apply your crystal coat, so that crystal coat will react with your block to make it look solid, so that water will not come out. So after that, you also protect that with Costa 2K. You put Costa 2K on it, and once you do that, you can replaster your wall and then you paint, so you won't have this water issue again. So once you do that, please let me check outside. If okay, what was it showing? Eh? Battery low. No, you see. Let me. What was it showing? Is there anybody outside? No need. So we are expecting people for the projects we want to go and do. Mr. Innocent. Mr. Innocent. Did you have Oga Kevin's number? Sir? Oga Kevin, the driver. Is Sister Tower down? No, let me check. Let me check. If she's there, let me call the driver that we are waiting for him. Okay. So satin paint is 72,000. Satin paint is 72,000 for the big one. That's 20 liters. Somebody is asking, is it compulsory to use a primer before you paint? No, it is not compulsory. If you did not have the money to buy a primer, yes, you can still paint your wall, and it will still come out, but it will not come out compared to when you use a primer. And you might be, if you paint without a primer, you'll be seeing some reactions on your wall you might be, let me just say, you might be seeing some reactions on your wall based on the plastering mix they use to plaster that wall. So the work of a primer is to make sure your plaster, like the material they use for plaster, does not end up affecting your paint, and it's to make sure that you have a uniform finish. What do I mean by a uniform finish? A uniform finish is that one place will not be darker than the other. For example, you are using white, and the white in some, white has some intensity. Some white will be bright, some white will be darker. So if you did not use primer in some places, you see that the same, even you use the same bucket of white, you see that some places are lighter, some places are darker. That is because your cement, the cement on the wall, your wall is reacting differently at different place to the paint you put on it. But if you have a primer, you use a primer to cover the cement and the block wall, your plaster, before you now paint. So primer will make sure everything is uniform, and you have white here, white here, white here. It's the same intensity, the same deep level of deepness. That is what the work of a primer is. But if you did not use it, it's still okay. If you think, okay, if you see all those little difference, you did not mind, okay, you can still go ahead. Thank you to King Boss. Thank you for the greetings to you. Good day. White paint for inside room. Yes, marble Trowel is also a good paint. It's a textured paint. And it's very expensive. I won't lie to you, because it has low coverage. So it's just like you are replastering your house. So if you are not rich, somebody reached out to me the other day and he was like, how much marble Trowel paint am I going to use if I want to use it for all my house? I said, you use 40 million naira. He was like, It was like 40 million or 4 million. I was just laughing. Pay 40 million. He said, I did not do the calculation very well. He sent me the total square meter, so I was doing the calculation for him. He was like, 40 million. I'm not doing. I now told him that what you can do is to so what you can do, I told him that what he can do is to find the media wall or an accent wall in his space and use Trowel. But for the rest of the place, you can use Satin or any other cheaper paint. So that is how to use it very well, so that you can save cost. Yes, if you have the money, you are $10 son, you are Dangote son, yes, you can paint, or you can paint all your house with Trowel. It will come out beautiful. In fact, invite me, I will come and also do video there. So hello ma. Hello ma. Good morning ma. Where am I? Sorry, I'm on a call. So yes, we are preparing already. Don't worry, we are preparing already. We'll soon start coming. We are preparing already. Yes ma. All right. Mr. Mo fẹ́ ká move àwọn material yẹn lọ sàlẹ̀ so that tí driver yẹn bá ti dé àwọn ló wà lẹ́yìn yẹn. Bọ̀ ẹ bá mi sọ fún àwọn náà máa mọ àwọn táwọn kó lọ site mi. So somebody is asking, what's the most appropriate material for filling a small hole on a plastered wall before painting? So if you have small hole on your plastered wall, there are some materials you can use. You can use a screeding putty to fill those holes, or you can also use this filler. There's something we call filler or calcium. You mix it with your paints and then you use it to fill the hole. So those are the things you can use to fill the hole. So there are also some what they call them. There are also some other materials that you can use to fill the hole and make sure your wall is smooth. Let's move on to the next question. We need to quickly ramp up. We are going for a project to treat rising damp. Seems the damp master is perfect for treatment of a rising damp. Can a painter handle the process? Yes, a painter can handle the process of rising damp. In fact, painters are the people we are training to use damp master. Do you have Satin in dangerful green and romantic black color? Okay, that's on the light note. Let me check WhatsApp for other questions that we have. Thank you very much to everybody who has been joined this live. Let me check WhatsApp for the questions we have. Okay, I want us to finish all the questions on WhatsApp before we proceed. So somebody is asking, must I screed my exterior before applying test coat paint? The answer is no. Test coat is a textured paint. So if you want to apply it, you don't really need screeding for it to stick very well to the wall. The only reason you might need to screed your wall is there are some walls that the plastering there are some walls that the plastering is very bad. Even with that, test coat will still try to cover all those. Hey, let me hear what though. Even with that, test coat will still cover some imperfection on the wall because it's a textured paint. It's a textured paint. Test coat, graffites, trowel, marble trowel. They are paints that can cover like to certain extent. Those test coats might not really cover it much compared to graffites, marble trowel, and which other paint. So those two will cover the wall properly compared to test coats when you did not do screening. Even though you do screening, yes, you can still use test coats on your wall. You just need to do proper surface preparation. Sandpaper it very well because it needs a rough surface for it to grip properly to the wall. So that is test coat for you. So let's move on to the next question, guys. You want to ask? I said move those things down. Yes, let's move it down. So somebody is asking, does it mean we can't use satin on a wall that's not screeded? No, you can use satin on a wall that is not screeded, but the finish, the beauty you will get on that part, the beauty you will get on that particular wall compared to a wall that they do screeding will be different because screeding is meant to make your wall look smooth. But if you are somebody that your wall is smooth already, yes, you can use satin. Especially when you apply primer, it will stick to the wall and your wall will still look very beautiful. But screeding will make it look smooth and uniform as well. So okay, I think this is a wonderful. I wish I can answer all these questions before. The driver is not yet here, Abi. The driver is here. Let's mobilize those material inside.
How many are we so that we know the number of angles?
And just carry everything. Carry everything. Let me check another. White is safe, but it's not a rule. It's not a rule that you must always paint your ceiling with white. No, there are some colors that you can also use to paint your ceiling that will make it look beautiful. The reason most people use white, the reason white is common is because it reflects light and it always make your room look bigger. So it's only in Nigeria that people paint their ceiling with white. If like in most foreign countries, they paint when they paint their wall with a color, they also paint the ceiling with the same color, or they paint the ceiling with a lighter color. Yes, you can paint your ceiling with another color that is different from white. It will also come out very well, and it is not a taboo that you can't do that. No, it's just because we are used to painting white. That's why most people think, oh, you must always paint your ceiling with white. No, you can use any color. You are free to use any color you want on your ceiling. It creates certain kind of vibe depending on what you want. You want to create a cozy space, you want to create a warm space, you can let your ceiling speak that language. ṣé Mr. Kilorukwe today ni
Mr. Leko.
ẹ
Mi ò tí ì rí wọn.
ẹ bá mi pè wọ́n.
Èmi mọ̀ pé àwọn náà ni.
Ẹ bá mi
Mo ti
pè
rò
wọ́n.
pé ọ̀gá Lékan, ọ̀gá Lékan.
ẹ bá mi pè wọ́n ká lè mọ ibi tá ká lè mọ báyìí máa move. Yes, a máa move láìpẹ́.
I know Mr. Lékan say ìyẹn mi yesterday. Mr. Tope, how many say that?
2-2 crystal code 2 Kosatuke 2.
Okay.
Then that bucket that we used to mix that day, that white bucket, let's carry it along. Then what else? We are also carrying the generator, but I'm using it. So I can't finish all this question. I just have to come back another day. Wow, it's too much. It's too much. So Guys, let me check TikTok. Let's see. We have because we need to quickly go for a project. So we need to go and solve a dampness issue on a wall. So that's where we are going now. So if you have any question, you want to buy paint, you want to treat dampness on your wall, send message to that number on WhatsApp 0904-357-5896. That's the number to reach out to on WhatsApp. I'll be there to personally respond to you. 0904-357-5896. That's the number to reach out to. Thank you to everybody who has joined this live. So do I need to prime the wall before painting? Okay, I think I've answered that. Thank you to everybody. I really appreciate you, your comments, your questions, the likes, and the gifts. Thank you very much. I will see you guys later. Bye for now. Send WhatsApp message, send a DM. I'll be there to respond to you. Thank you. Bye bye for now. I think let's quickly go.